to our third and final topic. This is just banter now, which was what we just did.
Yeah.
Like, we just made our own video game of BioShock. Yeah, I don't know. I guess, what do you want to talk about?
Do you plan on playing Gears of War 4?
Yeah, I played Gears of War 4.
I mean, not Gears of War. God of War 4.
God of War. So my dad is a big God of War fan.
Mhm.
Like, loves the series. He's played 1, 2, and 3. I have only played the PSP game, which I can't remember because there were like 2 of them. I think Chains of Olympus was the one. No, I didn't play that. That was a demo. I don't know how I got that. I had a demo disc of God of War Chains of Olympus.
A UMD demo disc?
Yes, a UMD
Wow.
demo disc. It slid in, then I played it, and that was how that worked. And then what else was there? I've played the first God of War to the part where you get the extra health for doing a thing. And then after that, I was kind of like, I just fell off of it. But it's on the PlayStation 3. Here's the problem, though. Why is there no... We've talked about this. Why is there no God of War 1 and 2 remastered for the PS4 or the... Or
Was it
3?
remastered on the 3? God of War 1 and 2 was remastered.
Sorta. They were ported over.
Right.
And they were brought over to PS3. But all it is this PlayStation 2 graphics. It's the PlayStation. It doesn't look good. I can tell you that much. It looks like crap. I'm like, yikes. This does not look like a PlayStation 3. But they took 1 and 2 and they slapped it on the same disc. So I'm assuming it probably is not the full game. It's not. It's just a port.
I don't know. I'm kind of interested in it as somebody who didn't play the Gears of War games because I played the
God of War.
Yeah.
Blue Hole. Blue Point.
Yeah. I never played the full games of the God of War games. I had the beta disc for the very first one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most that I've played, and it's just like the first level, the first like Hydra fight.
Yeah, that's kind of how they always test it out.
But this actually I think is interesting. It looks interesting to me.
I mean, IGN loves it. Like, I don't really know what else I've heard the PlayStation 4 Pro definitely
Oh, I'm sure.
peaks it. But apparently, here's something strange though. First party game, right?
Yeah.
4K capabilities, not 60 frames per second. 30 frames the whole way through. And I've also heard that sometimes drops frames.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that a first party Sony game drops frame rates and it's not 60. Then again, when you look, well, no, because that's really what Microsoft has been pushing. Because I'm thinking about since the X, what games have not had that capability that were first party, and there are none. Like, you have, I guess, where they have the 4K capability, I guess you don't get the 60 frames
because they're at 30, right?
I
4K
think so,
is at 30.
Yeah. One thing I did notice, though, is that some games are implementing the option to switch back and forth. A Way Out has an option in the settings where it says, do you want performance settings or resolution settings?
I would always go performance.
Yeah, I chose performance because it was like, well,
smooth, nice and smooth.
If I wasn't recording it, I would have chose resolution.
Oh, okay.
Because, I mean, I have the technology.
You have the tech.
Yeah. So it's like, but I do like that though. I like how I can choose, not you.
Yeah.
Don't have you choose.
Right.
I get to choose.
Yeah. No, that's good. One thing that I thought was interesting that I heard about the new God of War is that it's no loading screens and it's all
single
one shot.
It's the Birdman of video games.
Yeah, and I'm like, ooh, man, okay.
If you don't die, you'll
yeah.
never see a screen change.
Yeah, I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That might be a reason why they didn't. It's 30 frames.
Probably.
Of what I'm seeing, like, there's reasons why it can't be a 60 frames game.
It's probably because it's probably having to not have the loading screens. It's probably having to just cycle through so much info into your RAM, like on and off, and just all the time. That it's probably just like we just can't.
I did see a video of the axe apparently is so satisfying and even watching it was like really cool. He throws it and then he just and like apparently when he calls it back, it's
Mhm.
kind of like Thor's hammer, MCU version.
Yeah.
He calls it back and it hits.
Oh.
Your controller slightly vibrates every time
Does your controller make a sound effect too?
I don't know, but I heard that it vibrates slightly, indicating that he was. He
Yeah.
grabs it back.
That'd
It's
be
like
awesome.
a sturdy like.
That'd be
like gets it.
that'd be so cool if a sound effect came out of the controller too.
It probably does.
I would imagine so. I would imagine that they would
PlayStation
take-
game, so yeah, I'm sure they implemented everything in that controller.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because Nier Automata plays stuff from the control. That's your phone, I think.
We're good.
It's
Twitter.
Plays stuff from the controller. And the nice thing about like if I'm on Final Fantasy 14 is if I'm in like a queue and I'm playing like a DPS where queue times are long, I will go in queue, put like the controller in my back pocket and like go do something, and it makes the controller makes like a ching
Yeah.
when my queue pops. I'm like, sweet.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, no, like I'll queue and like I'll go do dishes or I'll tidy up and then just shing, and I'm like, sweet, I'll go sit back down and play my game.
Huh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was very satisfying when that first happened. I was like, I can do things while I'm not just sitting here just staring at the TV.
Now, another game, sort of, that's coming out on 420. Same with God of War, is that Nintendo stuff. The cardboard.
Yeah, we have those at
Labo,
work.
is what it's
Nintendo
called?
Labo.
Yeah.
We have those at work.
You guys already have them?
We already
have
have
I mean, it
them.
comes out this week, so I
Right.
guess, yeah.
We've had them for about a little over a week now, sitting in there in the back.
What do you think about those?
Not for me.
Yeah.
I'm very.
Did you hear that people are some people are making their own?
No, see, that's the thing. I love the fact that it's gonna bring all this new. I'm excited to see what people are gonna do with it. I'm not too interested with what Nintendo does with it. I'm interested to see what people are just gonna rig up themselves to do, because
Yeah.
I'm looking at it, and the stuff with the Nintendo, I'm looking at the one where like you're boxing as like the robot. You need like 6 Joy-Cons to do that. Yeah.
Wait, is that the one with the big backpack?
With the big backpack,
Yeah.
you got the hands, you have the headpiece, and because like you need Joy-Cons in your feet.
Now the head. That's the thing.
No, here,
Head. Are they doing VR?
I have no idea what it is.
What is this?
Because the tablet isn't here. It's like the screen, and then there's like a screen with like I think like a filter on it with like I think it's supposed to be like maybe like your HUD or something. I'm just speculating, but you're looking at the TV through it.
Oh.
I
Okay.
believe.
Okay.
It's not something that holds the Switch.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're at home because
Mhm.
obviously you're not having this contraption portable,
Yeah.
and you plug it in, and so as you're playing, you look at the screen,
Yeah.
and through this whatever this is, it's like some augmented reality.
Yeah. Basically,
of where
yeah.
you're looking through it and seeing all the screen stuff.
Yeah. I believe that's what I'm speculating. But like,
Yeah,
I
don't
was-
know. I don't know very much about
because
Labo.
because the thing is, I was looking at that photo of the kid who's playing the robot.
Your cat.
The kid?
Your cat.
Oh no, he's a potato right now.
I'm gonna take a picture of him. For video people, you'll get to see this. So.
But I was counting the Joy-Cons, and he's got
You're good. Keep talking.
1 in the headpiece, 2 in each hand, one in each hand, okay? 1 on each foot, and 1 in the box. So he's got 6 Joy-Cons going on right now. And I'm like, that's an investment right
Yeah,
there. That's like $200 of controllers right there.
The Joy-Cons are $80 a piece.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for 2.
For 2. So I mean, you're looking at least $160 if you for it.
Yeah.
From what I can see on the box.
Yeah, because that would be including the ones that you already have.
Yeah, because the Switch itself is in the box, is in the backpack. I believe. I think.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I really have no idea.
Yeah, and then there's like that balance game. I don't know what's going
And the
on with
piano
that.
and
There's a lot that I'm like, I don't know what the heck they're doing.
I remember the day before that was announced, and I had coworkers like, "You excited to see what Nintendo's going to introduce?" And I'm like, "I'm just hoping they're not going to Nintendo it." And for me, they Nintendo'd it.
Oh, okay.
They Nintendo'd it. For me personally, I have absolutely no interest.
I think they're trying to implement like this Lego sort
Like,
of thing.
Yeah, I
Where
understand
anyone
it.
can do it.
I understand it, and I get it. The only thing that has me interested in it is just to see what other people are gonna do with it, not so
It's kinda
much
like VR.
Nintendo.
You're
Well,
kind of
yeah.
like, I don't know what this has to do with anything, but
Yeah.
I'm willing to see what other people have to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I don't really know what else. What other games are coming out? I mean, you got Red Dead coming out way later.
I mean, what are you playing right now? If
Still-
anything,
I'm playing Disneyland Adventures
still.
for a future thing.
Are you playing any games just for yourself?
I
When you have
was
time to
tempted.
kill?
I don't really have that much time to kill.
I know that.
And so it's like, man, I try to play as many games as I can in order to do it. I'm almost done with Disney. Well, actually, at the time of this,
yeah.
should I announce what I'm doing with Disneyland?
No, I
Adventures?
think you should
Wait,
say
okay,
it.
all right,
You
all
should
right.
say it.
Yeah, so I'm doing a gameplay of that, and there's something special about that. It's not sponsored or anything. Don't worry about that. But there's some sort of thing happening with it.
There's
So
a
stay
twist.
tuned. Exactly. Stay tuned. But yeah, I'm trying to finish that. It's a long game, man. I'm
Is
like,
it long because it's slow, or is it long because
there's just
there's
a lot of
to
stuff
do?
to do. I'm like 50% of the way done, and I'm like, I don't know what else to do. Like, I mean, there's rides I haven't gone on, and I try not to do a ride until like a character says I got to do it, because they're going to
Can you hear that?
is he sneezing?
It's a hairball.
Oh. It's very faint. If I talk
Okay.
over it, then you can't hear it.
Yeah, I apologize if you hear that. My cat is dealing with a hairball right now.
He was laying in a weird way.
It's potato mode.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been trying to get through it, but it's like it's just really freaking long, and you're like, what do I gotta do to like make some sort of dent into this game? 50. I've maxed out my level because it maxes out at 15. Because I don't know if they even anticipate people even doing it this long. And every trophy, every achievement I get, constantly rare achievement, rare achievement, rare achievement. 4.2% of people have this achievement. I'm like, well.
Nobody's playing this
Yeah,
game.
no one's playing it to that length.
Oh, okay.
They're like, there's like, if you look at the review of on the Microsoft Store, the game has like 5 stars,
Yeah.
rightfully deserved. If you go in that game and you go, man, I got nothing to do, you are not trying, and you're literally just running around, because there's a lot of every character gives you something to do. Then they give you like these missions that are like, just go do it. You don't have to do it, but you can if you want. And if you go and do those missions, then it unlocks more missions from that character. So you're like, well, I want to do more Cinderella stuff. So you got to go and find these like hidden collectible things, which the game will not tell you how to find, because they want that. They tell you, essentially the game holds your hand like the whole game. Because they want to kind of keep it progressively moving.
Mm-hmm.
And they also, it's a kid's game.
It's a kid's
so
game. They understand that.
Yeah, I think you can turn off the golden e-ticket thing. I call him e-ticket just because he looks like a ticket when he's unfolded. I don't really know if that's what he is. That's another thing. They introduced this character that's like, we should go and blah 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 blah, and you're like, who the heck are you? Like, you didn't even get introduced. Like,
Yeah.
where did you come from? But I think that character was introduced in Disney Infinity, and is a meta character. Like, you would not know who that is unless you played Disney Infinity. And I played Infinity, and I remember him. I think it's the same character. I haven't gone back to Disney Infinity to like figure that out.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's like I do like the game. I very much do. The only thing that's stressing me out is like I'm trying to finish it for the series, and I don't think the game ends. I think it just keeps going until you've 100%ed it, and then you're kind of just done.
Yeah.
You don't really end the game. It just keeps going and going and going and going until you just kind of fed up with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was probably one of the downfalls of the game, and the reason why obviously it's not a 10 out of 10 or a 9 or
Mhm.
whatever. It's very much again, I'm going to keep going until I've ran out of rides. Which I have a few left. I'm almost done. But because of that, it's I think I might call it quits when it comes to that. I don't know. Who knows? As of right now, that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
But when the series is over, who knows what happens? But I don't know. What have you been playing? Spending most of your time playing, I guess.
Just Rebecca and I just been playing Final Fantasy 14 together when we can.
So what keeps you coming back?
The 14?
Yeah.
It's good.
All right.
I mean,
because obviously you like it. So like,
Yeah.
what is it about that
Well,
specific game?
so it's
Is it because you can play with Rebecca?
We played it with Rebecca. However, I do play it a lot, even when she's not playing. I am a fan of MMOs, and I love that style of game, and I don't want to play WoW. And this game is I actually like this more than WoW. The community is very great, not toxic and supportive. The dungeons, if you've ever done a WoW dungeon, they're not much different than WoW dungeons, but I really enjoy the combat mechanics a lot more. It's a lot less stressful.
Okay.
Because it's very your characters are very focused. Like I will tell you, tanking on WoW can be very stressful. Because the people you can get grouped with will just be jerks. If one mob, cuts loose and kills somebody, they're gonna rip you up in the chat,
Yeah, you can't go Leroy Jenkins at all anymore.
No. You couldn't even go Leroy Jenkins back when Leroy Jenkins was Leroy Jenkins. But it's a lot of fun. Like there's so much to do. The story in it is actually really good for an MMO.
You're still going through the story?
Well, the story technically doesn't end. I am just
You
caught.
might like Disney Infinity.
No.
Disney Adventure.
The thing, I'll say this: the story hasn't ended yet, but you get caught up to where it is at its point, and
so
then they when they do an update,
Yeah.
they'll add more to the story.
Got it.
So I'm caught up to where the story is, and I'm waiting for them to release more. But it's really good. There's one particular part of it where it's really slow, and you just have to trudge your way through it just to get over it. But once you do, and you get to the Heaven Sword expansion, the first expansion, the story just takes off, and it's fantastic. The music,
A very Final Fantasy thing to say.
yeah,
As soon as you're 17 hours into the game, it really opens up after
yeah,
that.
yeah. But it's really good, and I love. It looks good. It doesn't have a cartoony, like WoW does. Although WoW ages better, but that's because that's their art style.
Mm-hmm.
But the mechanics of it, it's a lot of fun. And there's 18 or 20 different kinds of classes you can play, and you can play all of them on one character. You don't have to I want to be a warrior. Well, I got to go on my warrior character.
Oh, that's cool.
It's if you want to be a warrior, the way you choose your class is based on the weapon you have equipped. So if I have my daggers equipped, boom, I'm a ninja. I take those off and I put a sword and shield on, boom, I'm now a paladin. And you just kind of carry around your gear, and you just put it on and off, and there's so much to do. The healing classes are fun. I really like my healing class that I play. It's called Astrologian, and you have these almost tarot-like cards. So the thing is a lot of the classes play by default, they all play fairly the same. All the DPS will have this sort of generic damage of abilities rotations to do, but they'll be a little bit varied depending on the different classes. However, they'll each have their class specific abilities, which is what will really differentiate them. And the Astrologian, what differentiates them from the others, your typical white mage who's just a pure out healer, or the scholar who has a healing fairy pet that can help them heal.
So these are Final Fantasy classes
Mhm.
in an
MMO, yeah.
in an MMO.
Yeah.
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 So they're-
your
yeah.
traditional Final Fantasy tropes,
So take your RPG and just slap the MMO on it as well.
basically.
And then here you are.
Yeah. And then but what I like about it is that I don't have this fairy to help me heal or anything like that. I have these almost I want to say almost tarot cards, But like I'll draw a card, and I draw a card at random, right? I don't know what card I'm gonna get, and the card can get basically buffs party members or buffs a party. Like I can get a buff that buffs damage reduction, attack speed, attack damage, attack crit, mana regen. But I get them at random, and so for me it's sort of like controlled random factor, because like I can swap cards out and do different things with them, but that sort of controlled random keeps the class exciting, and for me it doesn't get boring because it's always on this fight what card am I gonna get? Boom. Oh well, so it's like, oh, I have an increased damage attack speed card, a haste card. Well, what classes do I have that would benefit the best of? Oh look, I got a samurai would like haste. I'm gonna give the samurai that card.
So why have you not played Monster Hunter? Because of what I understand, A, it's a very popular game.
Yeah.
B, every time someone talks about it, it's like, oh, this now you telling me this kind of sounds sort of similar.
So it's because with Monster Hunter,
I know there are differences.
Yeah.
I guess my main question is just why you didn't try it, why you've not given that a shot.
Well, I've played previous Monster Hunter games.
Mm-hmm. So why?
Because with Monster Hunter, I don't know how many. In Final Fantasy, I'm positive that there's a larger community
On the Final Fantasy thing?
Yeah, it's the second largest MMO in the world behind WoW.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's thousands of people that play on the server that Rebecca and I play on. There's I don't know how many people. I don't know how to find out how many people are on at like peak hours or anything like that. But I feel like the community is more engaging in a traditional MMO than in a game that's an MMO like. Because let me ask you this: because you used to play Destiny.
I dabbled, yeah.
How often did you actually communicate with other players?
Anyone that wasn't in my party, hardly ever.
Okay,
probably not ever.
Yeah,
so
it's not like that in Final Fantasy.
Oh, you have to talk to people.
You don't have to, but it's much easier.
Well, I've been noticing every time I come in here, you got your little keyboard over there too.
Yeah.
So like,
I can plug a keyboard and mouse in my PlayStation and
well,
play it
like
like
too. But
and
like,
play it like a computer.
Why do you not buy your own chat pad?
What's that?
Why do you not buy a chat pad?
Chat pad for the PlayStation?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because we just had a
okay.
Bluetooth keyboard
All right,
laying
that makes
around.
sense. I didn't know if you bought the Bluetooth keyboard specifically because I was like, why didn't you just buy a chat pad? You would have eliminated that whole factor.
No. We just had the Bluetooth keyboard.
Do you remember how stupidly ridiculous the PlayStation 3 chat pad looked?
No, because
it was on the top.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Of course it was.
So the Xbox had it like a normal human being would type.
Yeah.
And then the PlayStation one was on top. So you'd be like playing and then you'd have to like go up here to. It's a small controller, but still like.
I know, because I always use keyboards. Like back when I played EverQuest on the PlayStation 2, I physically plugged in a keyboard into the USB, and
you're more likely to have one of those laying around than buying a $20 to $30
same
pad.
Yeah, same thing with the PlayStation 3. I physically just plugged in a keyboard and just typed with the keyboard because this for me is much easier than this.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying.
But like the communication and the community in 14 is nice. It really is. It's not talk. I mean, you'll get your occasional a-hole every now and then, but that's just a game on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not an it's a proper MMO. It's not an MMO light like a lot of the games are trying to do now, like Destiny. I even consider the Monster Hunter an MMO light.
Yeah, I mean it's I don't play it just because I'm not into those games.
Mm-hmm.
I think they look cool.
Yeah,
it's kind of the same. It's kind of the thing is like if I'm ever gonna go back to a Final Fantasy, I would rather play 13. Because I own it, and it's like I just haven't played it, and it's like I think Lightning looks cool, and it and just
I think
as the characters.
I think she's a terrible protagonist.
Oh,
but
really? I hear that. I hear that Lightning is like one of the most single dimension characters out there.
Like
but-
she looks good, and I think they could have done a lot better with her, but they made her. They tried to make her so much the.
You've played all of them, all the 13 stuff.
Yeah, I haven't played the last one because Lightning Returns because
Yeah.
I just didn't want to.
Oh, okay.
But she just doesn't have any personality. She is
I've played games like that.
she is the total, what do they call it? The Sundara trope anime.
Whatever that
character.
is.
I think it's called Sundara. It's an anime type of character, and it's usually a female who outputs the strong silent type,
Mhm.
but then she'll have like moments of weakness,
Ah.
and it's a common character type. Usually, every anime has one of them.
Sekirei, name one.
Her name is actually a play off of the term Sundara. It's called Sumi.
Is that the one that's like
Blonde
a
hair.
boy?
No, the blonde hair. No, blonde hair.
Blonde hair, big boobs. That's 90% of them.
No, that's one. There's one. There's one. No, I think I have. it
Because I
sitting
saw your hand structure going in for it.
there. No, she's got the blonde hair, but her name is actually a play off of the word off of the
Okay.
term Sundara, and her name is Skumi,
Okay.
which is like the first like 3 or 4 letters is of Sundara and Skumi are like the exact same.
Okay. All right.
But yeah. Usually most anime, if there's a large female cast, will have one. I-
Ruby.
Wise.
Ah, shit. Yeah. All right. I
Yeah.
See what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, we can keep going.
No, I don't know any others.
Okay.
That are predominantly women.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I
see
mean,
what
I'm
you're
sure
saying.
there's one in what was the one you watched? DxD.
I don't watch.
Was it?
I've seen it. Don't make it sound like that is a thing I watch all the time, because it's like, I think it's like it's the 3rd or 4th season now. I've only seen the 1st season, so I will say I've seen it. But like I'm not
But no.
religious, because if you start saying like, oh, you watch High School DxD, not a good thing to be tied to your name.
I mean, you just brought up Sekirei with me.
But Sekirei, you don't know unless and the people that do know about it know about how good the story is. DxD knows what it is,
Yeah,
and
okay.
it very much predominantly shoots itself for it. So,
But no, that was my problem with Lightning. Is she is too much too set in this Sundara role of a character, and to me that hurt the character.
Okay.
Because she could have been so cool, so badass, but she's just so like locked behind this like tough wall that's just like nothing phases her until something happens with Sarah at like the end of the
wow,
game.
spoiler, I haven't played it. You're like, well, it's been out for like 14 years, so I wouldn't know why. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
But yeah.
No, I do want to.
I enjoy-
want to play it, but like I just haven't.
I will say
I have 13.
I really enjoyed 13 too.
Okay.
If you kind of ignore the story.
Is that the one? Is it Lightning Returns or is it 13-2 where you have to play 40 hours to actually where it really opens up? Like the tutorial.
The world.
The tutorial, like
13.
13, the first one.
Yeah, the first
Oh,
one. The
jeez.
tutorials are kind of long.
Because it said like
You keep going.
Because I
and
remember
going
watching
and
the
going.
Penny Arcade. No, that would make sense. I remember watching the first season of Penny Arcade PATV was like back when that game came out, and it was yeah the oh my gosh that's gonna suck. It's gonna suck.
Yeah.
I hope it just doesn't turn me off of it though.
I mean, it's for me.
Then
it's,
again,
for
10
me-
turned me off. So
For me, it's easy to ignore. Like you just have to like just push some things aside and just go.
yeah.
Like when people say, I want to get into Final Fantasy, I want to play it on the Xbox 360 or the PlayStation 3, generation. I always say start with 13.2 because 13.2 basically like plays off the end of 13 if it ended differently. Yeah, they warped the ending a little bit. And then I always tell people, because so that way you don't really have to go in thinking you need to have played 13.
Yeah.
And then there's this whole because it's very the scope of the story revolves a lot around time travel. Okay, going back forth time, changing events. But when the story starts getting into saying things like we have to go to the future to change the past, and you're like that doesn't. And it's like, well, it's like, but it's like, but no, but the thing is like that theoretically doesn't work.
Not in Back to the Future.
How did they change the future to change the past?
They went. Okay, so in the second movie,
Yeah, they go to the future.
they go to the future.
Yeah.
They see Biff
They go.
is running the
Yeah.
show now.
Yes, because they're trying to get the
Yeah.
book away from him that he bet on. Remember?
Yes. Why did they? Oh, so he's just trapped there, and so they
Yeah.
have to go back in time to
Uh-huh.
go and fix the future. All right, yeah, I guess that makes
So
sense.
when they
Have you seen the diagram of Back to the Future?
No, I don't.
Oh, God,
totally
it's
a
so
mess.
convoluted. It's like, well, Doc draws it out partially. We'll come back to the
Yeah.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Doc draws it out partially in Back to the Future 2. He goes, we need, or I think in the first one, he's like, here's the future, here is now,
Mm-hmm.
and here is what our timeline was,
Mm-hmm.
but it's no longer that. We'll never get to that anymore. So this is Biff going into the future, and then we need to go back in time to go forward in time and to make this the new future. And because of that, like all of these things, essentially, like a lot of people go, Marty McFly dies.
Mm-hmm.
And so the only Marty that we know is the Marty that's in the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the other Martys are like dying as they're progressively moving on. It's so weird. It's so weird to find like the timeline and the theories behind Back to the Future. It's crazy.
Huh.
Anyway. Yeah. So that's a thing.
But
Anyway, going future in time to fix the past
Yeah.
to fix the future.
Yeah. So when I tell
Final
people,
Fantasy.
when I tell people if they're gonna start playing, Final Fantasy 13-2, once they start getting into the story where they start saying going to the future to change the past, just go with it.
Okay.
Just go with it.
All right.
Because the combat in it is fantastic. I will say the best thing to come out of the 13 and 13-2, by far, the best thing about it, in my opinion, is the soundtrack in both games. So good. Especially considering how it's not like traditional Final Fantasy music. It's like electronic. There's actually
Oh, man. That does sound like it's up my alley.
there's actual like rap and
Oh.
vocals in 13-2, but it works.
Okay.
It works. I know everybody was thought about that too when it came out, but like when you've actually listened to it, it doesn't sound that bad.
All
It
right.
sounds actually pretty good. Like it fits the theme.
Maybe that
of
might
the
be a game that I want. I've debated on recording it or not because I'm like, I don't know if because I won't know what I'm doing. So I'm just
Here's
kinda
the,
like-
and I also tell people the combat system with like difference between 13 and 13-2 is the combat system in 13 is a more streamlined version of the combat system in or 13-2. Sorry, is a more streamlined version of the combat in 13. Plus, there's like a pseudo Pokemon element to it too, because there's 3 of you fighting, right?
Yeah.
One of you is Joel, I think that's his name. Noel or Joel, or I don't remember his name.
Okay.
Future boy kid.
Yeah.
And the other one is Sarah.
Joel's future isn't very good. Last time I played as a Joel and it was set in the future, things weren't going so well. So.
But your third party member was always a monster that you had captured and is fighting with you.
Oh. Okay.
So it has this sort of pseudo Pokemon feel to it. And you can like, if I remember, you can like swap them out in mid battle and things like that, and you can level them up and all. Yeah, it's really good. But the soundtrack though is really what sticks with me. It's really good.
All right. Well, I'll definitely see what happens in the near
I
future.
have 13-2 for the PlayStation 3. I think you borrowed it once and then gave it back to me
Yeah,
'cause you
because I
never
was like,
played
well,
it.
I have the first one. I haven't beat this one yet. So, but ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it. That has been episode 16 of Bitcade. We actually stayed on topic and stayed on time
Yeah,
the
pretty
whole way through. But ladies and gentlemen, if you got topics that you guys want us to talk about, make sure you put it in the comment section below, and we might put it on another. We'll give you a shout out. We'll put it on the next episode and do things like that.
What do you think of 13?
Yeah, exactly.
Final Fantasy 13.
Or whatever else we talked about. Our
anything else.
fake BioShock game as
Would
well.
Would you buy a
Yeah, would you
BioShock
buy a
game?
BioShock game? Because I know I would. But yeah, so that's going to be it. Links are in the description below for all social media. There is a end card so you can check out the last full episode of Bitcade, plus a random video of the future, and a subscription button that you can click on so you can subscribe and not miss out on anything. If you really don't want to miss out on anything, you tap that bell button too. Any final words?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. All right.
No, it was a good one.
Nothing you want to say to the PT Nation?
I mean, seems like, Shadow Colossus is being received well so far.
Yeah. I think by now it should be almost over. But
Probably by
maybe,
now, yeah.
maybe. I don't know. Maybe we might be halfway through. Also, this is an audio version as well. You can go and subscribe to us on iTunes as well. It is the Primal Target Podcast Hub. Over there, you can go and subscribe to us and listen to the audio versions of this as well. If you want to get caught up, they are over there. More things to come into the near future also. So that's going to be it. My name is Ryan. This has been.
I'm David.
And we will see you in the next episode.
And that's a Sleepy Kitty.
Bye.